Andrew, 2 years ago, you and I sat in Romania for a 5-hour conversation. I opened with a quote from you that you haven't fully been able to explain until now. First, they try and cancel you, then they put you in jail, and if that doesn't work, they kill you. Andrew Tate, what's the real reason you were canceled? And what's the real reason you were put in jail?
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this, Jack. I'm not sure when this is going to see the light of day. However, a lot of the intimidation tactics against me are intensifying. And I've realized that many people at home who have witnessed parts of this story haven't seen or understood the entire story. And I've never told the entire story of what they actually did to me. So I feel like, perhaps in case something happens to me, or perhaps they'll be successful. It certainly sounds like from the messages I'm getting that something is going to happen pretty soon. That I should just explain from the start of the very beginning of the story all the way to the end what they did to me and what everybody witnessed and what they're trying to do right now. And I think by the time I've done that, and it may take a little while, I'll be able to answer that question a little bit better.
So does this story start with Big Brother 2016 or December 29th, 2022?
This story begins a little bit before December 29th, 2022. And I've got a whiteboard here because it's quite a complicated story I want to explain to everybody. In fact, this story, like all good stories, begins with a beautiful woman. Because that's how all stories begin. I was in Dubai with a beautiful girl from Sweden. And she was 6'1" and she was gorgeous. And we were living together in Dubai. And then she said to me, you know, I'm thinking of going back to school. I said, why would you do that? That's the biggest waste of time in the world. She said, no, I want to go back to Stockholm and get a degree. I said, your man is a millionaire. I'm rich. I've retired from my webcam days. I'm living in Dubai. I'm a rich man. Why would you want to go back and do this schooling when you have me? She said, well, I want to get qualifications and I don't know what else to do. What else is there to do? And I remember sitting across the table from her and I thought, that's a good point. What else is there to do? There is nothing else to do but go and waste your time getting one of these degrees, spending 4 years, spending $300,000. Everybody knows it's a waste of time. But if you can't get the job you want, or you can't get a job that pays a lot of money, nobody knows what else to do. So you just go and you give your money to mainstream education. So when she said that to me, I said, you're right, there is nothing else to do. And I called Tristan and I said, we're going to start a school. He's like, what? I said, we're going to start a school. We're going to start an alternative to traditional education, which everybody knows is a waste of time. We have a huge opportunity here. Everybody knows this particular product is a waste of time. It's extremely expensive and people are being forced to do it because there's no alternative. So let's give everyone an alternative. People want money. They don't want a degree. They don't want to go and study for 4 years. They want money. They want it today. We're going to teach people how to do that. Hustlers University. And we're going to open our own school and it's going to be nice and simple. So I called up a few people I knew. I called up a guy who made money with stock trading, called up a guy I knew who made money with drop shipping, e-com, called up a guy who made money with crypto trading. And I said, look, I'm going to be the big mouth at the front of it. I'm going to use my wealth and my influence to attract people to this school. And you're going to do 5 or 6 hours a day of live calls and convince people and show people how to make money online. We're going to get a Discord server. We're going to attach a Stripe account. Nice and easy. Monthly subscriptions. Split it all up. It's going to be nice and easy. They're all like, yeah, we'll try it. See how it goes. Turns out, because I'm a genius, it was very successful. Within the first week, we had 25,000 paying students. 25,000 students paying $50 a month in a week. We now have a real business. You know, it's kind of interesting. We're here in Los Angeles right now, and I asked you to do this podcast. And while we're here, it's the Milken Conference. And I'm talking to a lot of people who own these fintech companies, these ed tech companies. They could never, in a million years, there's no technology company that can start day one, no cash raise, no debt, giving away no equity, just us, without raising a single penny. All of a sudden, we have 25,000 students paying $50 a month. We're turning over, whatever that is, $2, $3, $4 million a month, at 80% margin. From day one, we're an ultra profitable company. At a 10 or 15x multiplier, we're a $300 or $400 million business on day one. So everything is going pretty well. Everything's going swimmingly. I'm promoting this school. The girls moved to Sweden. Don't care about her anymore. I'm buying more Lamborghinis. Me and the professors are all making money. Everything is going well. These are the days of 2020, 2021. People remember me on the internet. I was more of a fringe internet celebrity, and I was telling people the truth. I wasn't scamming anyone. I was saying to the young men, if you want to make money, I'll teach you how to make money. But what I didn't realize is that I was getting into a war with big education. And big education, very much like big pharma, don't like when you take their money away. So as my school grows,
I want to mention I was in the real world when it was $50 a month for a while. And then it was like 13, 14 months or something. And then I just found that I'm not in a great place in life. He talks about how, you know, money amplifies who you are. It doesn't change you. It says money, like, you don't change because of money. Like, what is it? You kind of like stay the same when, like, money amplifies you. Hold on. Let me find this because it is important. What is this here?
The real world is where you can make money. Yeah. But money, men can make money, but money cannot make men. Money is an amplifier. Money will do nothing more than amplify who you are. The real world is where you...
Yeah. So, and I realized that I wasn't the type of man that I saw as good for the world, you know, or good for my future children or young people to be inspired by, or just anyone to be like really inspired by. And I felt like I need to turn myself into a man that is inspirational, someone that it has like a really good impact on the world, just the man I am, you know. And so I started training more and started working on, you know, my spirit, my faith more. And I'm still on that path. And I think in due time, I will work on a lot more entrepreneurial things and be able to focus a lot more energy and intention around wealth development, things like that, building an online business and stuff. But just wanted to mention that I was in the real world for a while. And then I joined up again like a while later when it was $100 a month. And then I'm not part of it now, but anyway, yeah.
don't like when you take their money away. So as my school grows, as I promote it, and off the top of my head, if I use ninja memory, I had around 36,000 students at this point. I got an offer. And I'm going to write some things down because at the end of this, I want everything to make sense. And it was a sponsorship offer. So I'm going to write down sponsorship. I got approached, and I'm going to leave out certain names just in case I do manage to get out of this mess. I got approached not to buy my company off of me, which is what I thought the offer was initially. I thought I was going to sell out for 400M. I started a company 9 months later, 400M, nice and easy, right? Because people are buying technology companies that are in debt. People are buying technology companies that don't make money. People are buying technology companies that are running at a loss. I'm running at 80% margin doing millions of dollars a week. But no, instead they said, we want to sponsor you personally, Andrew. And we want you to shut up about certain things, not push the school, not say certain things, instead have certain opinions on certain topics. And in return, we're going to give you $50 million. It was a 3-year contract, $50 million. I sat there and thought, 16, 17 million a year, I'm making that already. And I get to say whatever I want. So I don't really want your sponsorship contract because it comes with all these rules. You're trying to tell me what to say. Maybe I'm, Jack, maybe I'm stupid. But I thought, what's the point in having money if you can't say what you want? Women can't drive. Sorry, it's the truth. And I'm going to say it. So I said, I'm not that interested. Thank you very much. And they said, but we have the best PR teams. So if anything bad ever comes out or anything negative is said about you in the press, our PR teams can help with that. I said, well, I don't need a PR team. At this point, I'm a fringe internet celebrity, right? I'm not in the mainstream media. Like, I don't care about your PR team. And they said, and we have the best legal teams. So if you ever get any trouble to protect our investment into you, we're going to make sure you have the best legal counsel. I said, I'm not in any trouble. I haven't done anything wrong. So why do I need this legal protection either? I was unaware at the time in my ignorance that those were threats. They were saying that our PR teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. And our legal teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. They were veiled threats. I didn't understand that. So I declined their sponsorship offer.
What was the industry?
It was a conglomerate, and they had significant interest in, let's say, clothing, perfumes, the standard things you'd expect a Hollywood A-lister to be pushing on a billboard. Standard, normal stuff. And then those people are very careful about what they say on certain subjects, for sure. But I thought, I don't really want to be owned, and this school's going somewhere. Like, we gain students every single day. I am going to take down the education industry. Me, Andrew Tate, one guy in Romania in his house. Me and my 6 friends on a Telegram chat are running a $400 million business. I'm going to take it all down. I don't need your money. Don't tell me what to say. I'm the top G. Go away. So I declined the sponsorship contract. They kept reminding me about these PR teams, these legal teams. So why do they keep saying this to me? I don't need PR. I don't need a lawyer. And they must have sat there and thought, this idiot doesn't understand what we're saying. So I declined the sponsorship contract. We continue to grow. A few months after that, Tristan gets a message from a girl. Can't say her name because there's open litigation. We'll call her Girl A. Girl, she's the beginning. She's the omega. She's the source of this. Girl A lives in Miami. Tristan knew her from a few years before. And she messages Tristan, hey, I want to come see you in Romania. Tristan's like, why? I've always wanted to see you in Romania. Tristan's like, okay then. And sends her a picture of his debit card and said, see you soon. She books herself a first-class flight, flies to Romania. So we have Girl A. All of this will tie together at the end. Girl A. Girl A books herself a business class flight and flies to Romania. Now, the interesting thing about Girl A, who subsequently destroyed my life, I only said hello to her twice. I don't know this person. Tristan knows a lot of girls. One day there's a girl at the house. Who's this? Oh, I knew her from Miami. She wanted to come. Cool. I don't care. Why would I care? Hi. Whatever. She's there for 4 or 5 days. During those 5 days that she's in Romania for 5 days. 3 of the days, Tristan and I weren't even in the country. We were away. England, I believe. The rest of the time, she's going to the cinema, hanging out with Tristan's other girlfriends, hanging out with my girlfriends, hanging out with our personal assistant, Georgiana, who ends up going to jail, hanging out. And after about 5 or 6 days, she vanished. And I said to Tristan, where's Girl A gone? He goes, I don't know, she blocked me and left. It's like, why? He goes, probably got jealous of my other girlfriends. Yeah, probably. Who cares, right? We're just guys. We're making money, we go to school, we got a big mansion, we got Lamborghinis, Girl A wants to come, girls always want to come. There's 100 girls by the pool, who cares? Girl A comes, Girl A vanishes. No one thinks anything of it. About 3 days after Girl A vanished, April of 2022, we were sitting in our house at 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon when armed police turn up, SWAT. And the SWAT raid our house, bust down our door, and running with machine guns, pointing weapons everywhere and yelling at us to get on the ground. And of course we comply and say that they're there because there has been a human trafficking allegation against my brother and I, which has been instigated from the American embassy. So they didn't just send the normal police, they sent the anti-terror police, because when the American embassy calls the police, it's a different kind of response. If you're a normal person in Romania and you call the police, they'll send a police car or a guy. No, this was the full army tanks, 30 dudes, head-to-toe SWAT.
Did you have security at this time?
We did have security. At this time, it wasn't to the point that we currently have security. We just had like a guy who watched. But they put MP5s in his face. He was like, whoa. You know, my paycheck is my paycheck, but what's all this? So these guys bust in April of 2022. Please find and play the clips of our first ever arrest, because that's what I'm talking about, our first one. They say, we're here for human trafficking and kidnapping. We're like, with all due respect, officer, what the fuck are you talking about? And they said, Girl A has reported to the American embassy that there are kidnap victims and victims of human trafficking in this residence. I turned to Tristan and I said, Tristan, she's a 7. Look all the mess you got us in. She's not even a 9. She's a 7. Tristan laughs. I laugh. The police officer laughs. Everyone laughs. They look around the house. The house was completely empty. It was just Tristan and I there. No victims. We'd had no friends there, no girls, no one's there. They searched the entire house for drugs. They looked for drugs because girl A also reported us for being drug dealers and steroid abusers. All this list of crimes. They find no drugs. They find no steroids. They find no contraband of any kind. Our firearms are licensed. So that's not against the law. They go through the entire house in a 4-hour house search. They then seize some of our goods. We're going to go into seized goods later. They take all the cash they can find, all of our diamond watches, our bars of gold. They left the cars at this point, but they took anything valuable we had laying around, watches, gold, jewelry, this kind of thing. I don't know why, but they did. So now we have the assets.
What's your estimate on the number of assets taken on that one?
Well, there was a lot of house raids, but on that particular house raid, I'd say all in all, in cash, about 100 grand, and in watches, about 500 grand. So about 600 grand of assets in the first raid. But no bank accounts, no crypto exchanges, no cars, just things they had laying around the house. I explained why they had to do that. They said it's protocol in Romania, in case these proven to be proceeds of crime. It's like crime. There's not even a girl in this house. Who have I kidnapped? They're like, yeah, we're just responding to the American embassy. We don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. We're just the muscle. You have to go talk to the detective. The detective's in the office at Decont. It's like, who the fuck are Decont? Never heard of Decont before. Turns out they'd be my best friends later on. He goes, yeah, there's a guy at Decont office waiting for you. We just have to come here, search for victims, take the money. We're the muscle. So after searching our entire house for 5 or 6 hours, the media is now outside at this point, so there will be video of this. They put us in cars. Media's outside saying human trafficking investigation, all this stuff. They start to slander our name with all this garbage, and they drive us to Decont's head office. We get there around 11 p.m. House raid began at 1 p.m., in the afternoon. 11 p.m., we walk into this office, and there's a prosecutor. We sit down. The prosecutor says, why did this girl say there was girls kidnapped in your house? And I said, brother, I haven't got a fucking clue. I only said hello to her twice. Ask Tristan. It's Tristan's girlfriend. I don't know. And then the prosecutor goes, well, Tristan should have bought her a handbag, and laughed. And then I laughed. And we all laughed. And I was like, American girls are crazy, bro. Me too. This crap happens. Maybe in Romania it's not a big thing, but in America happens all the time. These girls are nuts. They just make stuff up. He goes, yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't know it was actually this bad. I was like, tell me about it. He goes, why did she call the American embassy? I was like, bro, I don't know. Just tell me what you need from me. You've been to the house. There's no one in the house. We have CCTV in our house. You can take the cameras and see her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting pizza, going out to party, going to restaurants. You can see it all on camera. Please also find the clip of her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting Ubers, getting taxis, ordering food, ordering Amazon packages, everything on Tristan's credit card, by the way. It's all there. So we're here. Take the cameras. Look, do what you got to do, bro. He's like, okay, go home. Cool. So after about an hour and a half of interview, midnight, we go home. Tristan and I sit around the pool laughing. Like, this girl A is crazy. We've lost some money. But this is a big misunderstanding, Jack. Like, we haven't done anything. This is all a misunderstanding. Let's just get back to what we do best, which is focus on promoting our school. Right? So we're on our emergency meeting podcast. We're traveling the world at that point. We have no restrictions of any kind. We're promoting our school. We're going to France. We're going to Italy. We see Dan Bilzerian in France. We're traveling around. We're doing all this stuff. We're having a great time. We're on yachts in Croatia. We're doing all this crazy stuff. And then one day, I call my lawyer and I say, they raided our house in April. It's like July now. Why is that case not closed? And he goes, this is Romania. Everything takes forever. It's a slow system. They're probably going through the CCTV. I was like, yeah, but this is so open and shut. My lawyer's called Alain. I'm like, Alain, this is so open and shut. What could they possibly be doing? He goes, yeah, it's Romania. They probably have to go through all the hours of footage. It's going to take a while. Don't sweat it. I'm like, I had this bad feeling. But what can you do, right? I haven't done anything wrong. So we're still traveling. And now, because of the school, because I'm promoting the school so heavily, I start moving from fringe internet celebrity to mainstream celebrity. I started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think at the beginning of this story, my Instagram had 100,000 followers. By this point, I'm up to like 2 or 3 million. It's getting bigger and bigger. Back when Instagram mattered, not like now. So we're pushing to school, having a nice time. And then all of a sudden, one day, I was sitting in my cigar room, smoking a cigar. My girlfriend comes in and goes, "Have you seen this?" She passes me her phone. I take her phone, and it's a picture of me. And there's some blurb underneath it about how I'm toxically masculine, I'm a misogynist, a racist, and a homophobe. And I am the reason that the entire culture of the world is wrong. Cancer's my fault. Everything in the world's my fault. I'm the world's worst man, and I'm dangerous and need to be deleted from the internet. And it's on an NGO page for a charity protecting the rights of gays. Wait, that's weird. Whatever. And then she goes, "And have you seen this?" And she scrolls again, and it's the same picture with the same blurb explaining that I'm the worst man in the world. Copy and paste, exact one, on an NGO about wildlife protection. It's like, that is weird. So we open Instagram. I open it on my phone. And this exact picture with the exact same copy and paste wording, I find like 7 different accounts, random accounts for random charities and NGOs, posting that I'm the worst person in the world. Now, for anyone watching this, the media does not tell you what has happened. The media's primary objective is to prepare you for what is about to happen. They need to condition your mind so that when they do something, you're ready for it. If they instantly say, "You're locked in your house, you can't go outside," there's a revolution. If the media constantly reports about how dangerous it is, how a lockdown might need to happen, how it's unfortunate, but we must prepare for the possibility of a lockdown, over weeks, your mind softens to the idea. So when the lockdown comes, there's no revolution. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise.
What was your comment section like at that time, too?
Well, everyone loves me on my account, but on these accounts where they posted this, there's thousands of people saying, "Yeah, he's scum, he's scum, he's scum." And I was like, I mean, yeah, I made some jokes. Yes, I said women can't drive. Yes, I said some things, but I mean, I'm not blowing up girls' schools in Iran. Like, come on. Triple tap. Triple tap. So I was like, this is a bit out of control. They're conditioning the world for what's about to happen. Now, around this time, someone inside of my school said, "We should start an affiliate marketing campus." And I said, "That's a good idea." And we started with Amazon products because it's our job to teach all the people inside of our school how to make money online. You're a young man, you join our school, you pay a monthly subscription, and you start earning money same day. And one of the students said, "I take affiliate links from Amazon. What I do is I go onto Amazon, I find a lawnmower, I take an affiliate link for that lawnmower, then I buy the lawnmower, and then I use the lawnmower and do lawnmower reviews on TikTok. And then I say, here's the lawnmower I'm using, and I put the link. And every time someone buys the lawnmower, I get paid." Well, that's a great idea. So we got a new professor, a guy I knew, who was in charge of affiliate marketing, and he started doing 4 or 5 hours of calls a day, pushing affiliate marketing. And then a student said, "Hey, why don't we affiliate market for the school?" So that's a good idea. He goes, "Yeah, the school's great. So why can't I tell other people to join the school from my link, and I get paid when they join?" So that's another fantastic idea. Why not? So we launched an affiliate marketing campus for the school. And then the problem we were having is a lot of our students are from all over the world, right? So if you're a teenager from Peru and you say, "Hello, I have joined the school, I make so much money," everyone's like, "Yeah, all right, scam, whatever, bro." But people trusted me. So people would say, "Hey, I don't want to use my own videos. I don't want to use any videos of me. I want to use videos of you, launch a Tate fan page, and then sell with my affiliate link." And I said, fine by me. Now, this was revolutionary at the time. Me, my cousin, when we came up with the affiliate marketing campus, we invented clipping. We ruined the internet. That's how the internet became what it is today. And that was the basic premise behind it. We're not going to copyright strike you. Back then, if someone took your content, you copyrighted it. Not us. Take our content. Take the views money. So people were taking videos of me, posting on their channel, earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in views money, keeping that, plus selling the school and getting paid off that. So everyone was getting rich. And the school starts to explode. Gets up to 271,000 students. I don't want to do the math off the top of my head, at around $50 a month. Yeah, 13, 14, $15 million. I was probably keeping between 9 and 10 million American dollars every single month.
How many times were you banned at this point?
I'm not banned.
You've never been banned?
At this point, I haven't been banned.
Okay.
I haven't been banned. So the affiliate marketing campus is running. But all this NGO stuff starts. And I know how the world works, so I knew they were conditioning people's minds for something. And a perfect example of this, I want everyone at home to understand exactly what I'm saying. Before they got Diddy, they released the tape of him beating up Cassie. That tape of him beating up Cassie in the hotel was 10 years old at the time they released it. They'd been sitting on it for a decade. Why was it never released? Because they didn't want to get him. When they wanted to get him, they then released it, so everyone said Diddy's a piece of shit. So when he got arrested, everyone thought he was already guilty. They knew they were going to arrest him, so they prepared the public for his arrest. So when I saw these NGOs, I was like, they're preparing for something. What are they preparing for? Tristan's like, who gives a shit? Tristan's the optimist in this story. He always has been the whole way through. Who gives a shit? We're fucking rich. We're helping young men how to make money. All of our students make more money than professors, than their teachers. We're doing good in the world. We're teaching young men how to escape the matrix and make money. You're making $10 million a month. We ain't doing nothing wrong. We haven't done anything. Who gives a fuck about what some wildlife or some fucking bullshit homosexual NGO has to say about us? They're just bitter and they're just jealous, haters. Fuck them. Lights a cigar. Tristan. Like, maybe you're right, T. Maybe it doesn't matter. But there was a problem. And the reason I think the NGOs attacked me is because there was a flaw in our master plan. And the flaw in our master plan is that we were working with a mercenary army. So now we have the affiliates, which are linked to the school, Hustlers University. Because the affiliates worked out that they make the most money if they put up the most controversial clips of me. Because if you put up the clip, not the whole clip, where I say in bed that if a girl picks up a machete and tries to attack me, I will take the machete off her, put it in her face and say, shut up, bitch. No, not the whole clip. They take the last part, put a machete in a girl's face and say, shut up, bitch. Only that part. And post that, because that gets the most engagement. That goes the most viral. They get the most sales. And they're mercenaries. They're in it for the money, these students. So in many ways, they're making me look bad. And I say to Tristan, students are making me look kind of bad here, the way they're putting all this stuff out. And Tristan's like, who gives a shit? You're cool. We're making $10 million a month. Who gives a fuck? Bad guy, good guy, what does it matter? So when all of this is going on, the NGOs pop up. And from then on out, from that exact moment, Jack, I knew I was fucked. I just knew I was fucked. But I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. This is in August of 2022. 3 days later, I wake up, and my girlfriend wakes me up next to me. Andrew! I'm like, whoa, what? Look at this. Gives me her phone, and there's a BBC News article. Andrew Tate, misogynistic influencer, is banned from social media for being a dangerous person. Back then, now bans are a common thing, everyone's desensitized to it. Back then, the only people who had been blanket banned on the internet were Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes. I was number 3. And I was bigger than them. And by this point, I had become, in 2022, because of the affiliate army, the most Googled man on the planet. My mercenary army grew to 28,000 fan pages, posting endless Tate content. Do you remember the days where you couldn't get rid of me? You couldn't get rid of me from the algo. I was TikTok, I was Instagram, I was everywhere. 28,000 kids posting me all day, every day. We built an interactive library of everything I'd ever made. It was all transcribed. So when you went into the interactive library, you'd type Bugatti, every Bugatti clip would come up. You'd type heartbreak. Every time I'd ever said heartbreak in any video, because they were transcribed, it would come up. You could make lifestyle edits, and they'd take it all and they'd post it, post. And if their account got banned, because they're from Peru and they're making $300 a day affiliate, they're not going to go get a job for $300 a month. They just make a new one. Like a virus, like Agent Smith in the Matrix, like ants. You can't kill them. And they're just out there posting. And then they realize they make the most money if they post my most controversial stuff. And my most controversial stuff is out there by 28,000 fan accounts posting 4 or 5 times an hour. And the entire algorithm is mine. And this may be the most Googled man on planet Earth. My school's now at 300,000 students. $15 million turnover a month. 15 million times 12 is 15 times 10, 150, plus the 30 is 180 million turnover at 80% margin. A 10x multiply, which is pretty simple for an ed tech business, especially with a margin like mine. $1 billion business. 1.2 billion. 9 months old. Me and 6 dudes in the Telegram chat. I'm a billionaire. And I open up this BBC article on my girlfriend's phone, and it said that my views have become so destructive, and I'm doing so much damage to the planet and to the consciousness of young men that I had to be removed from all social media. This was on her phone. I was like, well, that's inconvenient that they've deleted me everywhere. I was like, let me have a coffee. So I put the phone down. I went to get a coffee. And as I was walking to get coffee, I opened up my phone. When I opened my phone, it said, your Apple ID is signed out. Well, that's weird. Okay. Went to click Twitter. Your Twitter's signed out. Clicked WhatsApp. Your WhatsApp's been deleted. Clicked Instagram. Of course, signed out. Clicked Gmail. Signed out. They pressed a button, Jack, and wiped every single thing from my phone. The Apple ID itself, so I couldn't download apps, and every single application was logged out. Uber, Airbnb, Skype, any app on my phone, all of them were gone.
Coinbase?
Everything. Every single app. All of my bank accounts, Coinbase. I had a NatWest and a HSBC bank in England. They seized all that money. I'll talk about that soon. Everything was frozen. Everything was gone. My entire phone just became a brick. And I called a friend of mine from my girlfriend's phone. I said, how the fuck can they do this? And he said, they put you on a terror watch list. They can only do that if you're on a terror watch list. And I was like, surely not terror. What the fuck? I'll call you back. Here I film my final message.
All that's left for me to do is have a positive impact on the world. I don't think anybody truly wants to go down as a villain. Maybe some people do. I don't. I wasn't raised that way.
I sit down on the chair and I give my final message to the world. I decided to retire from the internet. I thought, you know what, Andrew? You made $100 million. You got a $1 billion business. They're after you. You're starting to feel a bit paranoid. It's getting hot. You have a very credible source telling you you're on a terror watch list. Once you're on a terror watch list, all bets are off. There's no more law. There's no more constitution. All of that's gone. They can shoot you in the middle of the street. Police can come up and just shoot you and go, terrorist threat. End of story. And the basic premise was that I had so much power over the young men in 2022 that I could have caused a revolution. They're probably right. I probably could have said, fuck the Matrix, Westminster Palace tonight. Let's take over. And it would have been the fucking end. Please understand, the Matrix does not fear women. This is why they empower women. This is why they constantly attack me for being a misogynist. They want women to be as powerful as possible because you know what happens when women are powerful? Nothing. If women protest, if 100,000 women march through this town right now and protest, it's inconvenient. If 100,000 men march through this town, everything burns and the entire government changes. Men can fight. Men are armies. Women don't matter. They don't give a shit if women protest. They don't give a fuck. So you want women at the top of the pyramid. You want women as powerful as possible so that women are in charge of society so that you can just stay at the top of your castle stealing and raping and pillaging from everybody. Just stealing all the money, destroying society, importing whoever, breaking all the laws, and what's going to happen? A bunch of women are going to nag. Give a fuck. When men get together, it's not called a protest. It's called a revolution. Women don't do revolutions. They can't. So they deliberately empower women to subjugate men. That's why masculinity has been under such attack. And I came along and was the most Googled man in the world promoting masculinity, not realizing this was putting me at war against the Matrix itself. I wasn't even political at that time. I didn't even talk about political parties. I just said to young men, stand up for yourself, go to the gym, stick for what you believe in, you're allowed an opinion, you matter too. And that was considered so dangerous, I ended up on a terror watch list and they wiped my entire phone. And the country that put me on a terror watch list, you want to guess?
U.S.
Incorrect, sir. England. Great Britain put me on a terror watch list. The Foreign Office, in the paperwork I later saw, which they wrote to the Romanians, said, he is an unchecked source of influence. And they believed I was going to cause a revolution. Now, anybody at home who thinks that the intelligence agencies that are here to protect and serve us aren't primarily concerned with preventing a revolution is a fool. The CIA, the FBI, MI6, MI5, whoever, they don't care about much besides two things. Stealing money from around the world in the form of resources. There's a country here, Gambia. If we overthrow the president and put in a new president, we get control of the copper mines. Fuck democracy. Fuck who dies. We want copper because this is the American empire. Overthrow the Gambian government. Or I don't know, imagine there's oil in some random country, Venezuela. Who gives a shit?
All right. Well, this was part 1 of this video. I decided I'm going to do 6 parts to this, each one about 33 minutes and 30 seconds long of this interview. And yeah, I mean, I've actually listened to all of that there, but from this point on, I haven't heard anything. One thing that really stood out to me listening to this for the first time was like how they want to subdue masculinity and dismantle brotherhood and things like that. And I started to think about like my brother and my best friend and like the fact that none of us live like near each other, and that's like not a good thing because we need to be banded together and be planning our lives and building each other as men, you know, spirit, soul, body. Like we need to be becoming generationally wealthy. We need to becoming good fighters. We need to be protectors and providers. We need some direction. We need principles and values that we stand on and never change for and that we would die by, you know? So this has been pretty interesting so far. Yeah. I'm gonna get to part 2 really, really soon here. I used to listen to a lot of Andrew Tate back, like, I think he was literally in jail for 3 months. I discovered him right before he went to jail, and then like a couple months later, he got arrested and went to jail in Romania for like 3 months. And that's when I first discovered him, was right before that. And then I was like listening to a bunch of his content while he was in jail, like, dang, like he's in jail for talking about this stuff, like this is crazy. And then ever since then, it was like a year and a half straight of like 90% of what I'd listen to on average would be Andrew Tate content about masculinity, about how to build yourself as a man. And since then, I've really fallen off because I think he's really settled down on talking about masculinity. Well, maybe it's not that he settled down on it. It's just that he's been like canceled everywhere. Like, well, not canceled everywhere. I guess the fact that the trend of Andrew Tate sort of started to die down like a little while ago at this point. And he's not as popular or as trending as he once was, because at one point he was the most Googled man on earth, more so than Trump or Biden at the time, and which was wild. But I started to listen to him heavily because of his accomplishments, about how he would teach you how to, you know, become an accomplished man and stuff. And eventually I found God, and I found my faith in God, and then like that part of me sort of like took over and was like, I'm gonna read the Bible and become a better Christian because I want to be a good man. And then I would watch some clips of Andrew, like, being funny, of course, but he would always say certain things like, imagine like you're screwing your chick and you're screwing some hoes and stuff. And I'm just like, that part kind of like deflected off of me a little bit, because I was like, well, I've sort of exited hookup culture because of an ex. Like, I don't know. And then what the Bible says about sexual immorality, and I just like, I don't know. Like, I decided that hooking up with girls just isn't, what I want to be doing. I felt like it was like an unhealthy activity for myself and the girl, because I'm just imagining like my future daughter. I wouldn't want her to be participating in hookup culture, I feel like it's bad for a woman to be ran through, like, it's not good for her, like, spiritually, like, it's not good for her soul to be ran through. So it's like, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be contributing to this like culture. So I stopped. And then but Tate would talk about hooking up with girls still, and I was like, like, it's not really something that I would agree with anymore. So that's sort of why I stopped listening to him as much too. And then I moved to a very like progressive city, and it's been really difficult recently to be as like masculine, or to be the type of masculine that I was discovering, the type of masculinity that I was discovering. It was really hard to like upkeep that. Not that I've become feminine or anything, but it's like I was also like in a different environment, and like the people around me, and I couldn't afford to pay for a fighting membership at the time, and like a Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA membership at the time, and I don't know. So anyway, that's a bit about me, I guess. But I've been listening to Tate for a minute, and when I listened to this first 33 minutes of this interview here, it sparked the type of discipline, it sparked the type of motivation, it sparked the type of energy that like listening to Andrew Tate the first time was giving me, So I'm excited actually to listen to the rest of this. I'm a Christian. I'm gonna stay a Christian, and I know Andrew has a lot of very positive things to say about like masculinity and empowering masculinity in men. He may not have it perfect, but he has a really, really good, I think he has a really, really good grasp of how to become masculine. Although, yeah, again, like, he may not be perfect, but I don't think anyone's perfect except for Jesus. And so, it is what it is. But Jack Neel's awesome. This has been great so far. May of 2026. So it's now July. That's sick. Start clipping. He is an amazing storyteller. Yeah. Anyway. Alright. We'll start here next time. I don't have time to record a part 2 right now. I have to unfortunately go to work because I am a modern slave to the system, and I have to pay bills and taxes. I haven't created my online business. I haven't built my online business or developed it to the point where I can live off of it, so I don't have that much time freedom right now, or financial freedom, so got to go do that today. But yeah, anyways, I should probably shower, eat some scrambled eggs, get ready for work. Yeah. All right.